Brian Palaviron here with Ellie Greenwood, the 2012 Western States 100 champion and new course record holder. How are you doing, Ellie?
I'm doing pretty good, yeah. Feeling pretty happy. So.
Yeah. Now that it's after the race, I've sort of avoided it in the pre-race interview. Ann Trayson's record.
Yes.
It was on your mind.
It was. My priority was winning the race.
Yes.
And let's not go crazy over course records. And it was funny, I think you maybe mentioned like, oh, of course you know Ann Trayson's splits, and I had no idea what they were. So to be honest, I just ran my own race, and yeah, it was like, if I have a solid race, I knew last year like I was 18 minutes off the course record. Okay, it was a snow route, so that was faster, but equally I didn't have a great race last year, so I knew it was possible. I did not think I would get the time that I did.
Yeah, it's game changing. I mean, like Ann Trayson's record was sort of almost talked about as being untouchable.
Yeah.
And this is 50 minutes faster.
Yeah.
How do you wrap your head around that?
I haven't yet, to be honest, I think. Yeah, because I wasn't even thinking a crazy amount about the course record when I was running. I've said before, like I knew my split at Rucky Chucky from last year. I knew I was about 40 minutes ahead this year, which I was like, okay, you know, I'm in contention for sure, but you can't slow down too much. And then it wasn't until I got to Roby Point that I looked at my watch and was like, it was 16:34 at that point. And I was like, what? And I said to my crew, I'm going to get under 17. And they're like, yeah, I think you could like, you know, crawl on your hands and feet and you'll get sub 17. So that, in a sense, you know, it wasn't like I was throughout the race going, okay, am I going to get a sub 17 or will it be just over or whatever? It was, you know, like I waited until quite near the end, right?
Yeah, well, for the first half, you weren't in the lead.
No. I mean, I know I've raced Lizzie enough before that I know she's got a different race strategy. Her race strategy is always, or what I've seen, like go out hard, and often she maintains that lead. But obviously if she slows and then other people are catching up, and I'm a big believer in you run your race. I felt I was running hard enough. Like it wasn't like I was, you know, felt I was sort of like, you know, holding back too much. And yeah, I kept getting feedback that how much I was gaining on Lizzie. I was with Rory for a bit, like up in the high country, and she was certainly looking strong for a while. And then, you know, I mean, as well, like even once you're in the lead, and I obviously knew that I'd passed Lizzie and maybe she was going to carry on fading a bit, you're still thinking, well, there could be other women. It was a great field, so they could be gaining. And of course, once you're in the lead, it's actually much harder to get the feedback, or it was very delayed feedback. By the time you got it, it was like one aid station or like maybe 10-15 miles out of date.
Yes.
of the lead. So yeah, I just ran as hard as I could, pretty much.
Yeah, you know, you push yourself really well. Do you also, when you're in the lead and there are guys around you, do you use that? Do you use them to sort of help yourself mentally, or do you try to pass them and to be chicked? To be chicked.
I use guys a little bit for sure. In the yes, when I was sort of hearing, you know, like, oh, you're sort of 15th overall, and then I ended up like 14th overall. Yeah, I was like, I'm keen to be as high up in the overall field as possible. But at the end of the day, that's not what people remember, is what you were in the overall field, unless it's exceptional. They remember like your gender positioning. And yeah, there was a guy I was running for quite a bit, and we both had pacers. So that was kind of nice. Like there was 4 of us together, and, you know, just as anyone knows from sort of trail running, if you've got a little group of you, it feels a little less lonely out on the trail. You feel, yes, you've got a pacer, but they haven't run nearly as far as you, so you feel this sort of fellowship with this guy that's got the same amount of miles on his legs. So yeah, I definitely worked with the guys a little bit, but before I had my pacer, I did do a big chunk of running just on my own, which was good too, right?
Yeah. Every time I saw you, you were silly Ellie
Yes.
and strong Ellie, and
Yeah.
were there any down patches along the way?
I had a bit of a sort of waver. Like I picked up my first pacer. I had one pacer from Forest Hill to Green Gate, and then one from Green Gate to the finish. And sort of just after Forest Hill, you know, I'm in the lead and I'm doing decent, and I was vaguely aware that I might be on course record pace, but that discussion hadn't been had. But I sort of had this wobble of like, oh my goodness, I've still got like a good 30 something miles to go, and can I hold on, or have I possibly gone too fast too soon? So that was a little bit of, you know, a mental shift, but that was when it was good to have two pacers as well, because it split that final sort of like 30 something miles into two chunks. And then once I got to Green Gate, it felt like, you know, okay, I know I can, you know, hold a decent pace, and I've got enough of a lead now that, I'm going to hold first place unless something goes disastrous, you know.
What was the highlight of the day? Is there anything that just stood out along the way?
I enjoyed the whole thing. It was really fun to do go up in the high country. Like I'd said it before, like last year doing the snow route, I said, this year I'm looking forward to doing the original course. I had no idea like how cool it was and how, it felt more a little, I know it's not serious mountain running, but and I mean, in a sense, like the fog and the rain just added to the atmosphere, right? So that's what I really enjoyed, because that's the most scenic bit. I mean, all the canyons and everything, like it's super nice, but it's not it's not real mountain running, so it was nice to see the section up in the high country.
What's next for you?
Small race, but I'm doing Squamish 50 up in Squamish in BC in August.
Gary Robbins'
race, so I'm looking forward to that. It's sort of a reroute of actually the first 50 miler I ever did. So it'll be fun to be back up there, like a local race. And I have my entry for UTMB. I haven't booked my flight tickets yet. So I think now in the next sort of week or two, I need to decide, do I want to be out for about 50% longer, I was figuring, than I was yesterday, and that I'm undecided. It looks stunning, but I know it's super tough and a totally different sort of race, so I need to decide on that one. And if not, then it's Ultra Race of Champions. Okay.
Well, speaking of future races, now you've won here twice, you set the course record. Do you still think you'll come back next year?
Likely. I'm not going to say 100%. I unfortunately think I've set a course record that I might find hard to beat, given the weather was ideal and, you know, the competition was good, so that pushed you. It's the 40th year next year. Would it be cool to come back for that? I'll just wait and see. Like with, I think, particularly 100 milers, apart from people like Carl Meltzer, you can only do so many in a year, and should I mix it up a little bit? So keeping open-minded, but certainly I love the event. So
congratulations on this year's performance. And
thank you so much. Thank you.